So I think it's fair to say that EA is a bit of a marketing behemoth, but there's lots of features in F1 25 that they haven't told you about. So first up, just briefly, what have they told you about? So obviously you've got the overhauled My Team Career mode, you've got Breaking Point 3, the third installment of their story mode, you've got an F1 the movie tie-up with scenarios around the movie, you've got 5 new LiDAR tracks along with 3 reversed tracks, you've got a brand new decal editor, and you've got some F1 World co-op stuff. So all that they've been screaming and shouting about in all of their marketing, all of their store pages, but that's it. Now, you might take that to mean, well, they haven't really changed anything else since last year they made such a big deal out of the handling, which was definitely divisive, but that just isn't the case at all. And honestly, they're missing a trick here. So first up, let's mention the handling then. And honestly, the handling over F1 24 is improved in just about every way. I think pretty much the only way they've taken a step back in handling from F1 24 is the force feedback on a wheel. That's it. Genuinely, the consensus is everyone's enjoying F1 25 handling more than 24 in pretty much every single way, and even more so if you're on a controller. They've also massively updated the AI, which definitely should have been marketed way more. All I can think, honestly, is that because they marketed the handling last year and it turned out blew up in their face a little bit, they're sort of scared to do these, to market these gameplay changes. But the AI is ginormously better year on year. Now, I won't go into massive detail. In fact, I've already made a dedicated video just on the AI, but basically, their racecraft is now night and day better. Like night and day better. They race so much better now. They actually back out of moves as well, so they don't lose too much time when they're battling. It's just, in general, a big step forward. Honestly, the biggest step forward in AI they've made for many, many years. Now, the AI are still too slow at the top level. They don't go fast enough, fine. But other than that, this is really a big step. And definitely could have been something that they shout about a lot more, because I think if you go to F1 25, having played any of the last 2 or 3 games, or more, 10 years ago, whatever, you'll go, oh my God, this AI is so much better. The graphics too have taken a decent step forward this year. Now, I guess this shouldn't be a surprise given they've dropped support of PS4 and Xbox One, which of course they were never going to shout about. And it's not just graphically it looks better, it's that it seems to be more optimized, which I didn't expect. I thought, the game would be harder to run now on a PC, but it's not. The game genuinely runs really, really nicely. It's got DLSS 4.0. It's got path tracing now, which looks stunningly beautiful. Again, I've got a video about this coming very, very soon on all the graphic settings and stuff, so you guys can see an exact side-by-side comparison, so do drop a sub for that. But just generally, the game looks way better than it has done. Decent step forward in that, and it runs better. Honestly, again, big step forward. And something else I'm going to mention in this big changes category, which maybe should be in the small changes category, is the team radio. Now, on last year's game, you occasionally got some real driver team radio as you cross the line. If you win as Lando Norris, you might hear Lando Norris celebrating as you cross the finish line of a race. But that was it.
Yeah, it's deserved, guys. Thank you so much. All the hard work from everyone back home and in MTC and everyone.
This year, though, you hear their voices much more. Now, before launch, I was thinking, okay, cool, it's cool, that's expanding, but whatever. But having actually played the game, you hear them now just enough that it just immerses you that much more in, let's not forget, an officially licensed F1 game. If you're playing the official F1 game as Oscar Piastri, you want to feel like Oscar Piastri as much as possible. And now, when you finish qualifying, you might hear him say,
"Fantastic, you've got pole position."
Well, that was unexpected. Yeah, thank you very much. Was good in the end. Yeah, pole position. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Obviously, that immersion there is massively improved. They also now, at the start of every race, will often say radio check, and you'll hear your driver come over the radio and say, "Yep, radio check confirmed."
Radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
Stupidly small things, but really does increase your immersion in the game, and I really hope they go further with this. I want to be hearing the official F1 licensed drivers and teams, I guess, maybe more team bosses, hearing Toto say, "No, Mikey, no, that was so not right." Can you imagine? I really want this to improve, because it's a small change that I barely even considered before launch, but genuinely is just adds to that immersion a lot more. So onto some smaller things then. So those previous ones were, decent sized changes that do make a bigger difference. These are pretty small things, but things that I've noticed that have been a step forward anyway. I'm going to start with the OSD. Now, this is a little bit divisive. Certainly the first version they showed wasn't the best. The circular rev meter was just weird, but they've improved it now, and I think this is decent. You know, they do change it every single year, which maybe some people would wish it stayed the same, but they've got to differentiate their games. At the end of the day, it's a yearly release cycle. So fine, they're going to change it every year, and I really like this one now. I think it's just the right size. Honestly, my only complaint about it now is that the DRS is a bit full on when you've got DRS open, but maybe you need a warning that DRS is open because, you know, you've got less rear downforce. So maybe that's a good thing. But I like this. You may not. I think it's a good step forward with the OSD. I think it looks good. Flashbacks have now been renamed to rewinds. And the only difference is that when you press the flashback button, it now rewinds to 10 seconds ago or however long the flashback is. Where previously you used to press it and it used to start you at the end of the clip and you had to manually rewind. That's it. But honestly, it's quite a nice change. It's just a bit more intuitive. It's called a rewind, which I think makes a bit more sense. And you see it physically rewinding to make it much more obvious what you're doing. You're going back in time and now you can resume from there. Small change. It's just more intuitive. Bit of a weird one, but now when you turn collisions off in the game, which, okay, is fairly niche, cars don't always look ghosted. So on F1 24 and the previous games, when you turn the collisions off completely, the cars were always see-through. And it just kind of, I don't know, killed immersion a little bit, I suppose. And okay, I know collisions off kills immersion anyway, but it just looked a bit rubbish, especially in replays and stuff. But now they will look solid unless you go through them, which, okay, maybe is less intuitive, but it just looks better. It looks better in replays. It feels like even if you're not, you're actually racing the cars. Weird change that's probably easy for them to do, but I like it. At the end of the races now, you also get more drivers of the day. So previously you just got one driver a day, which mostly seems to be based on grid position versus finishing position. But now you get 5 different ones. So there's quite a few there to go at, which is absolutely awesome and just brings a bit of variety. These don't seem to happen in Grand Prix mode, but they do happen in all online races. So it's just cool to be highlighted for something, and it's kind of a fun little challenge to try and at some point get all 5 at once, which is actually not very easy to do. I haven't managed it yet. Another really small one, and honestly, maybe more of a bug fix, but side pod damage no longer completely ends your race. Where previously, if you got a little bit of side pod damage, particularly if it was from the AI just murdering you, you just overheated your engine like mad, and genuinely you were dropping like 2 or 3 seconds a lap in the straight, so nothing you could do about it. It was rubbish. It basically ended your race. It's a game for fun at the end of the day. It was kind of rubbish. They've just reduced that now to probably where it should have been last year, so that, yes, your engine overheats a little bit, and you're a little bit more draggy. But it's now only increased the temperature a little bit, so you can now maybe manage it with a bit of lift and coasting. So this is now much more manageable rather than completely race ending. Again, a tiny thing, but I like this because this was basically a bug and really annoying last year. Another bug that was really annoying last year, at least from where I'm sitting, was that when you changed the ERS deployment mode down into none, you had to shift up or fully lift the throttle for it to actually put it into none. Bit of a weird one and incredibly niche. The vast majority of players won't have even realised this was happening. But for me as a content creator, the amount of comments I got, and you guys have probably seen, if you've seen my previous videos, saying, why are you double shifting at the end of the straights? I get it. Of course, if you watch it, like, why are you doing that? Like, at the end of the straight, I'm going down 7th back to 8th. Like, what? Why are you doing that? It's a fair question. It was to get around a glitch. It's fixed now. When you go to none, you don't have to shift. Genuinely, I'm really happy they fixed this, even though it should have been fixed last year. And one final change, which is actually probably quite a big change in terms of development time, but is a very niche change that almost nobody will use, is 360-degree video exports. This is absolutely awesome. So now, if you save a replay, this is PC only by the way, if you save a replay, you can now go back and export a full 360-degree video of your race. Now, this takes an extraordinarily long time. This clip here, that is not very long at all, took almost an hour to export. But it's really cool. The fact that we can actually export full 360 videos now, and in fact, I want to link Tom's video because he's done a really good video of this around Monaco where I would hate to know how long that took to export, but you can literally control it on YouTube. If you upload it as a 360 video on YouTube, you can control it and pan around, and it looks really realistic. There's a link to that down in the description. Go and have a watch of that after this video, but it's genuinely really realistic. And again, it surely must have been quite a complicated thing to code. And it's only on PC, and almost no one will even be aware of it. Almost even less people will use it, and even less people that try to use it first time will never use it again because it takes too long to render. This is a 0.01% use case, and they put genuine development time into this. This is a really cool feature. And that's all the notes I've got. Now, I'm sure there's lots of other changes, you know, particularly if you get into really niche nitty-gritty stuff that's happened in the game, but these are the ones that I've personally noticed. Please do leave any down in the comments that you've noticed, particularly if it's things that have improved, but certainly also things that have taken a step back as well. But just before we round out the video, just to cover off, there will be some questions. What hasn't changed? Honestly, it's a year-on-year release. There are some things that are identical year-on-year. Ranked mode, identical year-on-year. Custom lobbies, exactly the same. There's no different option for custom lobbies. In fact, I've already had some of the same netcode online issues where the lobby crashes and you have to restart it. Grand Prix mode is also exactly the same. Obviously, you've still got the gameplay changes, AI being improved, things like that. But in terms of the settings and stuff, exactly the same. Also, your on-track interactions are exactly the same. So your MFD, you've got the exact same options of fuel and ERS and things like that. Like none of that's changed. Also in the pitch, you've got the exact same menu there as well. So it's a yearly release. I kind of get it to some extent. I do just wish they would just throw us a bone in like all of these modes. Just change ranked a little bit. Just enough that we feel like it's a little bit different. Just give us one more option in online custom lobbies. Maybe give us the option to permanently disable DRS in a race. You know what I mean? Just something. There is definitely some things that haven't changed. But honestly, I've got to say, I think this is the biggest step forward year on year that they've done for a very long time. I'm sure there was some negativity down in the comments, probably primarily from people who haven't played the game from what I've seen so far. But as I said, guys, if you have noticed any changes, big or small, do let us know down in the comments. I'm really interested to see what you guys have noticed. But anyway, that's it from me. Don't forget to drop a sub if you haven't already, and I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.